Hello. So like I just did a video about the Northman film and how it's based on astronomy, but I just realized um I also wanted to talk about something else. Let's see. I mean, in a way, maybe this is better suited. Well, I'll just do it like this for now. It sucks. Like I would much rather be able to switch the video back and forth to view things and then, but you can only do it, I guess, one way or the other. But anyway, um, so like had I've noticed that some rhyme, like some of the magical spells, like basically, like I know that some magic spells rhyme. I mean, even that's the stereotype, right? I mean, that's even common knowledge, basically, that spells rhyme. Abracadabra, it rhymes. Um, so I can't remember exactly which spells that I've encountered that did rhyme. I think maybe some of the Norse spells, like the Norse hell spells that were translated into English, but even the translation rhymed. So maybe that was their way. But I think that's what it was, but I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, like it but there's a lot of other spells that I know of, but that I've never seen evidence as to whether they do or don't rhyme, because most of them, pretty much all the spells that I know about that I study, they're in different languages. Um, and so I mostly tend to read the translations because I'm studying them. I've been studying them largely for what they say, but but the question of whether they rhymed and also whether they were sung, like that's tends to be my theory. Like that, I think that all the spells of in all these different ancient religions, there's all these different things that are referred to as spells by Egyptologists, anthropologists, whatever. And I believe they all rhymed, and I believe they all were sung, and was accompanied by music, instrumental music, and dancing and costumes and special effects like people flying on hidden wires and stuff. They did that in the temples thousands of years ago. It's well recorded. Um, so, like basically everything, all of the arts were were originally, or at least in throughout ancient times, they were united inside religion, inside paganism. And they were all united in delivering the symbolism that religion was. Basically symbolic descriptions of planets, stars, etc. Um, so like the ones I'm most familiar with, the magic spells I know the most are the hell spells of Egypt. So, you know, some of the oldest hell spells. Um, I mean, even like the hymns of Inanna in the underworld, that basically the whole thing is a spell, and I'm pretty sure the whole thing rhymed and was sung. So, it's like the bards, like Homer, probably it might be that the whole Odyssey rhymes, like, um, So, that's how knowledge was transferred. And this is a system that was built up over these like thousands of years, like potentially, you know, 40,000, 50, 100,000 years, maybe longer, that these I mean, I would guess that at least major elements of this are at least 100,000 years old. And but nowadays, like that's all just thrown in the trash because, oh no, no, that's the either, the Christians say and the Muslims and Jews and stuff say, oh no, that's the bad historical backward pagans, superstitious people, so we should ignore them. The atheists say, oh, those were basically the same thing, that it was the superstitious backward people. Um, and so you have all these teachers trying to come up with little like jingles and stuff to teach. And meanwhile, the whole like the most, fine-tuned system of teaching was developed over, thousands of years and is available to us. Um, and it's just ignored and rejected and demonized. So yeah, it's pretty funny, like it's like modern teachers fully acknowledge that like all the things that were used by the ancient priests are the best methods of education, but yet they still dismiss what the priests actually taught as just being superstition and fancy and, primitive, emotional, um, you know, insanity, really. They pathologize it. So that sucks. But I'm trying to test my theory, like, um, this is where I wish I could switch it around, but this is this book that is the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the Papyrus of Ani, Egyptian text translation and transliteration and translation by E.A. Wallace Budge. So he has transliterations, so that's awesome because it has it shows like the Egyptian, it like for each line, it shows the hieroglyphs, and then it shows a phonetic rendering of it, basically in the ancient Egyptian, but using uh, Roman letters or whatever. So this is the only way I can actually figure out if this stuff did rhyme. So I did look at it, and from what I could tell, uh, it looks like it rhymes. Like this is basically the same as what I've been studying because I have been studying this itself, but mostly I'm familiar with the hell spells of the Book of Two Ways, which is, in many ways it's an earlier incarnation of the Book of the Dead. There's a lot of elements of the Book of the Dead that are first seen in this earlier coffin text. Um, so, the Book of Two Ways has the underworld maps of America in them. So that's mostly what I've been focusing on. But I noticed that in the few parts of, I have this book, Will Sherbini's Through Hermopolitan Lenses. And so that's why I know a lot about, like I transcribed every spell. Basically, I transcribed the entire Book of Two Ways, but I transcribed it in English. I mean, this is to say, like, I copied it out by hand, from Will Sherbini's book into my book, and into my article, like all the spells of it, but just in English. But I saw that in the few parts where he did give extensive phonetics of it in the ancient Egyptian, it seemed like it did rhyme, or at the very least, uh, synced up, like, it was close enough to rhyming. I mean, there's rhyming and there's rhyming, right? Like, um, not everything that rhymes fully rhymes, but, at least if it's close enough that there is some sort of, at least an attempt at rhyming. And so, yeah, here's where it starts, I think. So, yeah, that book, like, I was just lucky to get Will Sherbini's book because um, it's like $400 book, but some copies of it are for $350. And I think what happened was, like, at Amazon, they didn't realize like how this book is $350. So they either like somehow it became it was for $35. It was listed as $35. So I bought it like quickly. But like the next one that was listed was like $350. So I'm can pretty much guarantee that's how I got this book, was just some clerical error where they confused $350 for $35. So lucky stroke of fortune there, but but yeah, so I don't really know though. And like, but I know what those spells are. Like those are spells, those are considered to be like, those would be considered to be the most evil spells. So, people who believe that there's uh they call it black magic, dark magic or whatever, like the spells of hell would tend to be the most, they would consider that to be the evil spells, right? I mean, like there's a lot of movies and stuff about this, or like the hell spells and the demon spells and all this stuff, and that's so evil. But really it's literally just, hell is America. And um hell was worshipped as a goddess by the ancient Germanic speaking people. And so these are just spells, seem to be spells just to memorize the geography of America. Like there's a spell that's addressed to each gatekeeper of America, like uh, each gate, each at all the gates of hell. There's like 9 gates of hell, and so yeah, each one has a gatekeeper, and each gatekeeper has a spell addressed to them. And so I think, yeah, it's just a way to memorize the order of the gatekeepers and different aspects of each gatekeeper in a way that's memorable. And I think that they rhymed and were sung, but like Whale Sherbini never mentioned, I've never seen any Egyptologist even bring up the question of whether any of the spells rhymed or not, like, which is just it's just amazing. Like, there's people who think like modern Western scholarship is like some great thing. It's not. It's fucking garbage. Like things like that, which are just obvious, should be obvious to like, at least figure out. Just no, it's just totally ignored by thousands of scholars. So, you know, so okay, here it is. Litanies of Seker. Ha. So I'm just gonna try to say these and see if it seems like it rhymes at all. Ha unas an semnek as med o semnek anyet. Hems her hent oser. Okay, I don't know if that really rhymes. it's saying, Hail Unas, not hast thou gone, behold, as one dead, thou hast gone as one living, to sit upon the throne of Osiris. Ha Unas an Semnek as met Semnek anet Hemsher Kent Aser. Okay, yeah, it kind of does rhyme. It rhymes like not the whole thing, but like the first part with the, it's like in two sections. So I think like ha unas an semnek asmet o semnek an het or something. So that to me that kind of rhymes. Like it's like the same sounds and types of sounds again and again. And then the next line says, or I think maybe, yeah, I think that let's see, like I would say that there's the line ends, Semnik Anyet Hemsker Gen Aser. Well, I don't know. It just seems like it's very possible that Hemsher is meant to rhyme with Aser, and then Semnek. Well, Semnek rhymes with Semnek, but even with Anyet, it's like a bit similar. So, that's not a perfect one, but let's see what else we got here. Re tem inek sak inek unes sak pu an tek en teta. So this one, I'm not sure. Looks like there's some stuff missing from it. Tem sak pu penen aser tanek seteb af angs angs unas pen anmit unas pen. I mean, at the very least, like this, you can tell it repeats a lot of things, like it will repeat the same word again and again. Like it's very easy to see this as a song. For me, like it sounds very like rhythmic and oh wait. So Hetep unas ans amenta. So Hetep means offerings, I think. Unas is that pharaoh. Or wait, Unas. Yeah, I thought Unas was a pharaoh. I'm not sure who Unas is. Maybe this is from something else, not from the Book of the Dead, but from a pyramid. Because I think that's a pyramid. I think the pyramid of Unas is like Old Kingdom or Middle Kingdom or something. So Hetep Unas angs amenta. So setteth Unas in life in Amenta. So that's America, the West. Hetep Unas anks Ankh. I guess that's Ankh. But I'm not sure really how to spell it because they use a weird character. Hetep Unas Ankh amenta. Of au nef sa en netter neb ahal pa nehe turf. terf pa teta emsaf pen en merer of arir mestet. Nah. I mean, maybe mestet. Oh, wait, no, that's not the end. Arif mestet an arinef. All right, well, that's got to rhyme with something because, like, there's so many of those words that, saf, nef, I don't know. That it's like there's so many words in there that are similar that it seems to me like that it's could be wrong, but it seems to me that it's meant to either rhyme or something that's like you know similar to that. It's meant to have a certain rhythm and similarity of words. Oh shit, it keeps going. No. Ankh, ankh, an, mitik. So live life, not shalt thou die. Ankh, ankh, an, mitik. So maybe that kind of rhymes, like maybe ankh and mitik, MIT-K. But it's very hard to know like how any of this was pronounced. So we're just really going on the consonants more than the vowels, because the vowels were not really written in generally. In general, it was just the consonants like in Hebrew or in other stuff in cuneiform and stuff. Ak he en he aha en he. That rhymes. I mean, he rhymes with he. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I think he means millions. It says, thou shalt exist for millions of years, a period of millions of years. So that's like a song, I don't think these spells are not sung. I don't think this is just like some random words. It's meant to repeat. It's the same as like, um, it's the same as the Quran. It's the same as, I think the Vedas. I think, the Rig Veda. I'm pretty sure it rhymes. But like the Quran, like I'm more familiar with that, even though I don't really know Arabic. Like I know, the phonetics or like the sound of it, whatever. So like, like we say, or for like the call to prayer, um, they sing it and they rhyme it like Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Amen. So it's like, yeah, that whole thing rhymes. And honestly, that whole thing almost all rhymes in the same way. It's like, yeah, the whole thing is all the same rhyme. It's all like EEN or IN, whatever. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. But it's not exact. It's like Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. So sometimes it ends with the N, sometimes it ends with the M, but they're close enough to where it's considered to be rhyming. So I think that's the same in the ancient magic spells, which, people think that the magic spells are to make magic things happen. And I guess it's like understandable because that's how a lot of them are phrased. They're phrased as, you know, come down, sun god, and do this thing, and I hereby. It's like phrased as, but it's in a mythological framework that that was not literal. So anyway, I think that I'm pretty much ba ar petsat arta, soul to heaven, body to earth. Nuksu paut ba'a puneter ba'a puhe. So I don't know. I'm still convinced that like even if it's not clear whether the last syllable always rhymes, and then again, I think these are just taken out, these are separated out. So maybe it rhymed with the previous line, but it doesn't give the previous line in this. This is in the introduction of this book. Muk Erpet Khazak or Khak Erta. Pet Herbak Taheri Tutka. So yeah, it's like even if it's not exactly rhyming on the same uh complete way as like Quran, like the surahs of the Quran, it's still like it still has so much of this repetition that it screams out like music, like it screams out that this was sung. So, and some of them do basically rhyme. So I'm gonna keep reading in this to get more evidence, but it seems that a lot of this is meant to be sung. I su kak hems kak ta hanak at yeah, it's like just that even like disu kak hems kak ta hanak. You know, it's like it's similar to like Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin, Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. It's like going back to the same sounds again and again. Teta, and that yeah, that could rhyme with because ta and maybe teta rhymes with that. Aha uab ka uab kak uab bak uab sebek. Yeah, this rhymes. This is the same as Quran. So yeah, alhamdulillah. You know, it's just sad like no, I've Googled it. I can't find one Egyptologist even discussing the possibility that these spells rhyme because they only focus on the translations into English and yada yada. I don't know. But yeah, it's like people so many people have been killed for doing like black magic spells and all this stuff. I honestly don't think there's such thing as like bad magic or I mean there could be a douchebag who, you know, knows astronomy and uses spells to memorize it, but it's not their astronomy that's gonna kill you. Like I don't none of these spells are really like turning people into newts and frogs or anything. Like it's just like very sophisticated educational aids. Um, so, magic, sorcery. Well, sorcery is like medicine. That just means like pharmacy. I mean that there really is bad sorcery. Obviously, there's, you know, devious pharmaceuticals. But in terms of magic spells, and spells are synonymous with magic. Like Heka is the god of spells, and that is seen as the same as being the god of magic. Anyway, I think it's cutting me off, but you know, that's my spiel. That's my spell. All right, peace.